The Her Sports Show, live every Wednesday on YouTube and every podcast app.
Hello and welcome to The Her Sports Show, our weekly series bringing you the latest and breaking sports news from the world of women's sport. In this week's episode, we discuss the upcoming National Rowing Championships with Olympian Margaret Cremen, the fallout from Alan Sugar's comments around the Euros, and Amee-Leigh Murphy Crowe joins us to discuss chasing her Olympic dream. A relatively quiet week in the newspapers this week, with the main story being about Ireland's journey in the Hockey World Cup. Ireland finished 11th after defeat to China. Ireland finished the Women's World Cup in 11th place overall following a tough 3-1 final day loss to China, who struck twice in the last 10 minutes to pull clear in Amsterdam yesterday. The 11th place finish comes with the small consolation of putting Ireland above their pre-tournament ranking, and they hope to use this experience when they face August European qualifiers in Dublin. It's been a tough competition for the Green Army as they had losses to the Netherlands, to Chile, Germany and now to China. I guess in terms of the journey for Irish hockey, we'll be looking at what's next for Team Ireland. Obviously, in terms of the team, it's still quite a young team. We've discussed the losses due to a number of retirements since the Olympic Games. It's a new era, so where do they go from here? There's not much downtime as the upcoming European qualifiers will begin this August, hosted in Dublin from the 21st to the 27th of August. Ireland will face Poland, Czech Republic, Turkey and Finland in the competition. This is an important competition because not only does it carry a significant number of points for the Olympic qualification, but just one team from 4 will qualify for the European Championships. Also in the Irish Independent, moving on to the Women's European Football Championships, Germany have advanced to the Euro quarter-final. Germany progressed to the Women's Euros 2022 quarter-finals with 2 first-half goals in last night's 2-0 win over Spain. The possible combinations and permutations now needed for certain teams to get out of the group stages is certainly getting very interesting. England and Germany are the first teams confirmed for the Euro quarter-finals. On Thursday at 5 p.m, Italy will play Iceland, and Italy will have to win if they want to advance to the quarter-finals. France will face Belgium in Group D with a heavyweight clash. France will be through to the quarter-finals if they win. They will be confirmed as group winners if they beat Belgium and Iceland do not beat Italy. Coming up this weekend are the Irish Life Health National Outdoor Junior and Under-23 Championships, and the event will feature some of Ireland's biggest stars. We travelled to Tullamore to meet some of Ireland's rising athletics talent, and in this interview we meet Leah Maloney, long jumper and hurdler.
I'm Leah Maloney and I do long jump and hurdles. So my sister did athletics before me. She was a shot putter and got to European Championships. So obviously that inspired me, and then it was kind of a given that I'd try it because I saw like how much she enjoyed it, and I thought, you know what, let's give this a try. Like, I was 6 or 7 because my sister got a scholarship to America, and that's when I really saw it, and I was like, you know what, that's something I'd love to do. It was like an inspiration. I was like, I really want to try this and see how far I can get because I saw how much enjoyment she got out of it. I was so nervous the first day because obviously, like anything you try new, you don't know like what it's going to be like or are you going to be good at it. But then like athletics is such an environment where you're going to flourish no matter what because the coaches are there to help you, and like everyone's chatty, and it's just like it's a certain personality in running that everyone's so open and friendly. Long jump is fun because you just run and jump into the sand. It's like being at the beach, do you know what I mean? And hurdles, then it's just running and jumping. It's just natural instincts. It's just like, it's exhilarating because you just run at it and you just keep going, and there's like nothing in your way. It's just you getting from one point as fast as you can, or like from starting in your long jump run up to like hanging in there and getting as far out in that pit as you can. And then like when you run hurdles or a long jump, you know when it's a good time or a good distance, and you can just like, it's that excitement because you're waiting for like the distance or the time. That's what I enjoy about it. Sarah Lavin is like so good because she trains on my home track, and anytime she's there she'll talk to you, or like she'll go through drills. Or I remember one memory I have is when I was 8 and Jessica Woodlock, the Olympian, was there, and she just stopped her session and did a whole session with me and my friend, and that was like so inspiring. But it was like they take time out of their day to do it, that it would like make you love the sport and be so happy about it. I've been doing PBs all this season, so it's just like getting that one final one, the last competition would just end it all off perfectly. Go out in a flourish and get a PB because I feel like I can. Like you can feel it coming, and then it's just when it happens, it's so good. It's just like all your hard work is paid off. I'd like to get to Youth Olympics next year, and then obviously World Under-20s in a few years' time. And I'd love to like jump 6 meters. It could be done in a season. I feel like I could have that by next year. It's just a case of putting in the time in the winter training in the gym, and then getting out there and focusing on those like technical things at the track. Like you train, so I go to school I'm up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to go into school in Limerick City, and then I'd finish school and go out to the track, because the track is like 20 minutes from school. It's University in Limerick, and then obviously eat and then go home, study and into bed and do it all over again. I think they go hand in hand, because doing the track helps you clear your mind, and then when you go into school you're more focused. And to be honest, some of my best friends are from running, and that's what would like kind of entice you to do it and keep doing it, because if you didn't have something that was keeping you doing it, you wouldn't be doing it, and the friends are what keeps me there.
There's a new story breaking in terms of the European Football Championships, as Alan Sugar, who you may know from The Apprentice UK, sarcastically tweeted questioning the BBC's all-female cast of pundits on their coverage of the match between the Netherlands and Sweden. Lord Sugar tweeted, "I'm watching the women's football and notice that all the commentators are women. I also note when men's football is on, there is a symbolic female commentator to cover the broadcaster's arse. Should I complain? There should be a male football commentator in women's football." There's been a couple of people getting involved in the story, including presenter of the European Championships, Gabby Logan, where she says, "We have plenty of men working on this tournament, Lord Sugar. Don't fret, you're not being eradicated." We're joined by Mohammed to talk through the story again today.
Yeah, like you said, it's a bit of a non-story because of how factually incorrect he was. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting to talk about because he's someone who has such influence, and I think a lot of people would have seen his tweet and maybe taken it as fact. But then if you look at it and he did a bit of research, you'd see that he is so wrong, because the BBC have like a decent amount of male pundits and male coverage on that show. So Ian Wright, a former Arsenal legend, he's one of the pundits on every England game. Jonathan Pearce, he's a commentator. He does a lot of the match of the day stuff, a lot of the BT Sport commentary as well. And then you have the Arsenal manager, Jonas, I believe his name is Ivadel. He is one of the pundits as well, so he'd have a really good grasp on what's going on, because he's obviously the coach of Arsenal. They have a lot of players in the Euros, and like obviously coaching in the Women's Super League, he'd be quite familiar with a lot of the players as well. So it's funny that he took the time to write that tweet, but then when you look at it, he couldn't be more wrong from that perspective.
So basically he just flicked on one game and it happened to be a full women's panel on that match, but you're saying that a lot of the other matches have a lot of male involvement as well?
Yeah, so the one game that he was referring to, he obviously flicked on the Sweden-Netherlands game. It's funny that was probably one of the biggest games of the tournament, and the one thing that he decided to pick out and speak about was the all-female cast of pundits, whereas it was probably a lot more to talk about in terms of the football. But yeah, if he tuned into any games before or after, he would have seen that there's plenty of male presence there as well.
You're saying Netherlands, Sweden, so it's certainly like two unbelievable teams to be watching anyway, so there's probably a bit more to talk about than the female punditry. So in terms of the story, like what you're saying is that the claims are false, and like obviously it's the only match that he tuned into and saw this all-female team. But he hasn't seemed to back down from his comments. Do you think he has a point, or what's your perspective?
Look, I think he is entitled to his own opinion, and at the end of the day, Twitter is there for freedom of speech. But if he was correct in the first instance, which he wasn't, which we established, there are male pundits and male people on the BBC's coverage of the Euros, I think fundamentally it's a completely different situation. Like if you tune into Match of the Day, or if you tune into Monday Night Football on Sky Sports, or the games that they show on Sunday, you get 80% of the time you get male pundits only, and there's no issue there. So what difference does it make that the Euros, that one coverage of one game had an all-female cast? Like it's not quite the same. And even if it is an all-female cast, I still don't see the issue with that, because of how underrepresented women are in the media. Essentially, like, you have to do more, you have to give more opportunity out there to enhance the quality and also show that women do belong in media. So I don't think he is right in this instance, and I'll say maybe he's giving good exposure to the Euros because he's got over 5 million people on Twitter, so like inadvertently he is giving good exposure, but I think his point fundamentally is wrong.
Yeah, no, it's interesting that you have that perspective, and I agree that definitely women need more exposure and opportunity in the media side of things. I do think there is actually value in having men involved? Do I think it needs to be like every cast? No, and as you said, that's not happening in the men's game as well. But I do think having male pundits and male commentators adds value, because it like normalizes that men can be involved in the women's game, women can be involved in the men's game, and I think male voices will resonate sometimes with like different audience and will encourage men to come over and watch the sport. So there's like huge value, and especially if you can get names like Ian Wright involved, because obviously you know, he's gone down as a legend, as he said, in football, so he can have an opinion, or sorry, like him being involved can sway the opinion of some other men to get involved and to actually follow women's football, which is something that obviously we're trying to do. Like, we're like here saying that women's sport is not just for women, and sometimes that can change opinions.
I absolutely agree that men should be involved and there should be male presence, but I don't have an issue if I saw an all-female cast. Fine, like I don't see the issue of why he's complaining or why he took the time to complain on Twitter. It's a bit strange to do that. If you saw an all-male cast, how many people are tweeting about that it's wrong?
Yeah, no, the people are tweeting about it that it's wrong. There are some people that are complaining, but there's a lot of people that don't have an issue with it. And in terms of, there are some people that are looking for female pundits to be involved, and then you have a lot of people talking about what he's saying. They're calling them symbolic, and he's essentially saying that it's tokenism, which is something that we obviously talked to Sir Jacob about last week. After the England game a few days ago, Alan Sugar tweeted boasting about how his comments made the BBC put Ian Wright on the show. The former Arsenal striker quickly shut him down with this video.
Can everyone please just stop sending me the tweet, you know, Alan Sugar tweet. I was taking my daughter to singing lessons, and the tweet's just, it's blowing up. It's doing my head in. I can't believe it. Alan, the thing is, my friend, rather than just say, I got it wrong, lots of men are working at all levels at a tournament, you double down on some complete fucking foolishness. So you're actually, in your mind, you actually thought after you sent that tweet that the BBC phoned me up. Never mind the fact that we've been ready to do this for a year. I've been booked for a year. You genuinely think that they called me up and said, Ian, you've got to get back from Germany ASAP. Alan Sugar's tweeted and we can't upset him. We need to get you on. You genuinely believe that happened? Because I need to know. Because that says to me, my God, your ego is totally out of control. Where's the people around you to hug you, bro? You need some hugs, man. Look, you're coming on here coming on Twitter and that for attention like this. It's laughable. Stop doing it to yourself. But I've got to say, thank you. Thank you, man, for that tweet. Because if it wasn't for you, I'd have missed one of the greatest ever England games that's ever been played. The thing is, all seriousness, I'm glad you're watching. And the only thing that you can find fault with doesn't even exist. I sit in these rooms with ex-players belittling the women's game all the time. I'm so glad it annoys you and all of them. Can I just say, I hope you enjoy the rest of the tournament. Can you please tweet again so I can work Friday? Please. God bless.
Great to see Ian Wright and other people speaking out on this topic. We'd love to hear your perspective. Be sure to get involved in the conversation in the comments below. For the rugby, we're joined by Jessica Woodlock. Jess, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Leagh.
In terms of the Irish Rugby Sevens, so far it's been a very successful year, from claiming silver in Seville, bronze medals in Langford, and just recently winning the Rugby Europe Sevens Championship in Poland. The next challenge awaits this weekend in Bucharest as Irish Rugby aims to qualify for the World Cup in South Africa. Jess, what's the significance of this from an Irish perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it's hugely significant. Obviously, loads of us have been following women's rugby over the past few years, but sevens probably isn't something that's really come into it. But I think it's easy. People forget that sevens actually did make it to a World Cup. They made it to the one in 2018. But the goal at the time was kind of, we do this World Cup and then we do the Olympics. And obviously they never made it to the Olympics. And then the 15s never made it to their World Cup. So it kind of, I suppose you could say, was the last sort of high for women's rugby for the past 2 years, and they never really had any stand-ins on the World Sevens stage then. So they're really like in their prime now with all their medals at sevens level, and that obviously been a really good place to qualify once again for the World Cup.
Yeah, no, they're definitely playing really, really well at the moment, and it's exciting to watch. I think for anybody that hasn't watched sevens in general, it's a very exciting game. I remember watching my first game and I was like, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's different to 15s in that you're constantly on the go. Like I've like asked players before, like, oh, how do you feel like when you scored this try and things like that? And they're like, you don't have time to even think, like you're just like straight. I think they have like 30 seconds to run back and like restart again. So it's a really exciting game to watch. And I suppose with the Irish team, the way they're playing at the moment, like they're just scoring tries. So that obviously makes it better to watch as well.
And they have a couple of flyers on the team, like they're just so fast. We see some of them feature in the 15s as well. But I mean, everybody on sevens usually is quick, but we have some really, really fast Irish girls too.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think the skills they obviously learn in sevens, that ability to do quick starts and obviously just to run is one of the main skills. It transfers easily over to 15s, and it's something like you're never not going to want the fastest players on your teams for 15. So we've seen that all year. And it's actually great because the current seven squads, they're bringing in even more 15s players. And at the end of the day, like 15s don't have game time at the moment. So for them to, those players who haven't played sevens before, there was like Ella Roberts was in there and your brain, for them to go over to sevens and get a bit of game time, it only adds to who they are as a player.
And in terms of the World Cup, is this our last opportunity to qualify?
Yeah, so what will happen is the top 4 teams, but you have to remember that is based on like our rankings and everything so far as well. So Ireland are in a really good position. I think for Poland got their first win, and that was like a surprise, I think, for them and probably Ireland and other teams watching on. So there is like Poland, obviously we have like England or Spain even. So I think they are in a good position, but you never know how it's going to go with the 7 teams. Like on the day, like Ireland actually knocked out England at the last World Cup in San Francisco, and that was like a shock at the time, but you never know what it'll happen now in Bucharest.
So what do we need to do to ensure that we secure our spot when in South Africa?
I think, to be honest, just playing the way we're playing. The girls, like, they're scoring tries. I think if you watch the last game, Leagh Moloney literally just got a try over at the end. So I think if they could get that momentum from the start, they're well able. But sometimes I think the pressure of, like, it is such a big deal, obviously qualifying for the World Cup, but they're well able to play once they pass the ball out. And what's good to see as well is they are bringing in, like, not new caps per se, but just like they're giving more players game time. So obviously when we do get to that World Cup, like one injury, like if we're missing Leagh Moloney, Amee-Leigh Murphy Crowe, like I don't know what that would do to the team, but thankfully like they're bringing in players. And if you look at I had a look at the last World Cup team, and Leagh Moloney, Amee-Leigh Murphy Crowe, Stacey Stud, Eve Higgins, they all were part of the team on that World Cup. So for them to even make it to this one, they just have years more of experience. And Lucinda Kingham, actually, she's the 7th player we haven't seen in a while. She's back, I think, from like a 2-year injury, and she was playing the tournament. So it's great to see. I think basically what they need to do is start that momentum from the start of the game, and hopefully like bring on a few of those newer players as well, so we can build towards that World Cup.
And in terms of the teams that we watch out for, who are the dangerous outfits?
Well, Spain are always like, I suppose, like contenders with Ireland, and we've seen that like in the 7 series. I think Poland are like dark horses in this. No one really would have, like, they've been playing really good over the 7s standings, but they got a first place win, which like no one expected. So I think they could be definitely dark horses, especially because they'll come off the back of the momentum on that. Especially in Poland, there was a lot of like media coverage on it. So I think they'll have a lot of momentum and something to prove against Ireland. So they might be ones to watch.
We must be pretty confident off the back of a win in Krakow. What do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think 7s are in their prime. They've actually never been this good. They've never, especially on the European 7 stage, they've never got this many wins. So I think definitely the expectation is there. But obviously we've seen in the past that expectation sometimes isn't enough. So hopefully they can just carry that momentum. There's been a lot of media about it as well. And obviously if they are to get to the World Cup, there'll be another boost for Irish women's rugby. So hopefully they can carry that momentum. And the expectation is there that they will do it, especially new coaches. They've brought in new players, new injured players, and that experience is all there also. So I think hopefully we'll get there and we'll get to the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. Fingers crossed. Anyway, thanks so much for running us through that. I know you can't wait for the competition. We certainly can't wait for the competition. Earlier this week, I caught up with Irish rugby sensation Amee-Leigh Murphy Crowe to discuss how she got into rugby following on from athletics, her iconic try celebrations and her Olympic dreams.
As a child, I did athletics all the way up to about from 7 to like 15, and then in secondary school I actually joined the school basketball team, and like that team aspect of sport I really enjoyed. So my boyfriend and my friends at the time they were hugely involved in our club back home, our rugby club, and they were like, why don't you just give it a chance, like have a go. So yeah, I gave up athletics at 15 and joined rugby, and that's how I got into it.
And you're obviously playing in the 15 squad and in the 7 squad, so which one came first, or did they both kind of come together?
Yeah, it's funny because it's almost like a circle for me. I started out in 15s, got my 7s cap for Ireland, and then ended up getting my 15s cap. So it's a cool like circle that I've gone on through. But I started out in 15s with my local club, Clonwilliam, back home, and from there I went into Munster underage. Then I went to 7s underage, and then I went back to senior Munster for one of the Interpro seasons, and then I went on and got capped for the senior 7s team, and then I was playing there first, and I still am playing there for almost 9 years in there now. And then just after COVID I ended up getting a call up to the 15 squad, which was huge achievement for me, and I ended up getting my 15s cap. So I like to think of it as a kind of a circle.
Yeah.
It's brought a right back around. Although getting my first cap during COVID was different.
Yeah.
My family and friends weren't there, but I know they were watching from home. So yeah, I made my debut against France. I came off the bench, but unfortunately my shoulder met a French player's chin, and I ended up getting a sin bin and being off for 10 minutes. But it's a great achievement playing for Ireland. It's something I dream of every day, is being able to put on the Ireland jersey and yeah, do my family proud and do my country proud. So yeah, making my debut for 15s is great.
In terms of the Six Nations this year, talk us through the competition. There were some good performances from the team. You definitely stood out as one of the players. What was it like?
Yeah, Six Nations was great. Obviously it was the first year after COVID, having crowds back, and for me, having played on the 7th circuit, I wouldn't really get to feel the sense of a home crowd. But being able to play at home, we played in the RDS against Wales. Unfortunately, the scoreline didn't go our way, but being able to, play in front of your family and friends who've, supported you along this journey, especially when you get your first cap during COVID, it's exciting for them to actually get out and see you and sing your national anthem and hear the crowd roar the national anthem, hear them roar the fields of Athenry. It's such a lift to have. And then we went on to France, and it was a tough game. We knew it was going to be tough. They're a really strong side, like any team in the Six Nations. And then we went down to Musgrave, where Munster's my home, so I was massively excited for that, and really I was looking forward to it so much. Playing Italy down there, had all my friends and family again come, and I feel the atmosphere was amazing down there. There were so many young girls at it, and after the game, they were just out there for hours waiting for you to come around and meet them and chat to them and either sign a jersey or take a picture. And for me, that's a huge win in any sport, especially in rugby, just seeing so many young girls playing. Because when I started, there definitely wasn't that many, so the future is definitely bright.
In terms of the team, there's a lot of young players coming up at the moment. Obviously there's a few retirements last year. New leadership there too. It seems like a good approach towards developing the team. I know there were some Irish lessons and stuff in there, so how has that growth of the team come together with new faces and that?
Yeah, plenty new faces, plenty in there with management and players. But I think once we joined in, we all became aligned on what we wanted to achieve throughout the Six Nations. And I think if everyone's on the same page, it's quite easy because everyone has the same goal and the same focuses, and we all want to drive to get that success. And I think like so long as players are working hard but competing against each other to push the standard, that was something that we really wanted to knuckle down. But yeah, like you said, we had loads of fun in camp. Like we had Irish lessons in Muntour. Ronan from St Michael's came in and gave us a few Irish lessons.
It's nice to be able to kind of switch off and do something different and bring people together in a different way that's not always completely focused on rugby.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we went to Irish class with Muntour, Ronan, it was just
Totally
complete
different.
switch off. There was rugby talk, but in Irish language. So yeah, it's really good to be able to switch off and do them sorts of things, just to build, culture and a bit of an atmosphere, and
Was there any Irish dancing or anything going on?
No Irish dancing.
We'll have to put that in for next year. So.
Yeah.
Who's the team DJ?
Stacey Flood gives it a good go. Yeah, she has good tunes in.
Are there any good dancers?
Yeah, we're all great dancers, Niamh. We're brilliant, yeah. It's just the Irish dancing we're not good at yet. Maeve O'Leary is probably one of the best dancers I have seen. It's just a laugh, like for downtime and stuff, just just to do something silly and get in each other's company, I suppose.
In terms of the past year, like you were involved in the Six Nations and in the Sevens as well. Like the Sevens has been unreal, like the last couple of years. Is it tough to manage both?
To be honest, no. The management deal with all that, and you're given your schedule, you know where you are, and it's quite clear, the outline is clear of where you'll be at certain times of the year. So, for yourself, you can mentally prepare, like I'm going 15s camp the weekend, or maybe in Sevens training during the week. But any time you get to put on an Ireland jersey, like I promise you, it's one of the best things you'll ever do. So whether it's a 15s or a Sevens jersey, I take so much pride in it. And yeah, we've had huge success this year with the Sevens. It's been great, and all the 15s girls, like they back us and their management, and they want us to do really well and go on next week and qualify for the World Cup, because we have a big tournament next week in Bucharest with the World Cup qualifiers. But yeah, we've had a great year. We've made plenty of history, which is great to see, because I've been there when we came 12th at tournaments, and it's been a dark place to be in. Too many times we're in those dark places, but you grow resilience, and it's sport. You develop and grow as a team as it goes on, and just seeing all the hard work the past 8-9 years that every player has put in, that every staff member has put in, has come to fruition now.
What are the standout moments for you?
Definitely this year will definitely be making it to the final in Seville. It was quite surreal for me, like me and myself and Eve Higgins, we just sat in the change room. We didn't really know, like we were just won the semi, and we didn't really know what was going on. Everyone was so happy, and we were just sat there in such awe, like of how we'd achieved this. But yeah, definitely making it to the final in Seville and getting a silver medal, but also playing in Musgrave Park was another huge standout moment for us. Especially for me, as I said, a big Munster fan, and getting to play there in such an amazing atmosphere was a standout moment.
In terms of role models, who were role models for you growing up?
Funnily enough, I have cousins who are huge golfers, and they take me to watch golf, and my cousin at the time, she was playing a really high level of golf, and she was a teenager, but she actually played against Leona and Lisa Maguire. I was able to see Leona and Lisa have their ping photo shoots and out in the putting greens, and I was sitting in one of the golf club bars looking out at them, thinking, that at the time I didn't really think they were two people who I would have looked up to, but as I grew older and the past few years, I've actually began to notice that they were a huge influence on me. But looking at Katie Taylor and what she's done is massive. Watching the hockey girls come second in the World Cup a few years ago was very inspiring. Seeing them get to the Olympics was amazing.
In terms of two names that you've mentioned there, you've talked about Katie Taylor and you've talked about Leona Maguire, and they're obviously doing huge things for their sport, for girls and women. What's it like for you to be somebody that's doing that in rugby?
Yeah, it's great. You know, sometimes you like stumble upon being a role model, and for me, or stumble upon being a leader in the group. Like you just become that person. And for me, I would never have even looked at myself as a leader a few years ago, and now I'm one of the senior players in the team. And I think, you know, if you can be the best player and lead by your actions and lead by your examples, that's a way you'll influence younger girls. And I think, you know, showing a bit of you and who you are and your character and, you know, your family and stuff like that, I think that's a massive part of young girls getting to know who you are. Definitely getting to play in the Six Nations and have so many young girls come to the games. It was just, for me, again, like it's such a personal win for them to be able to see you play, but then to get to meet you afterwards and, you know, share a picture or get a signed jersey is a huge it's a huge thing to be able to grow the game.
In terms of your celebration, so that's something that a couple of people have talked about. Tell us the story behind that.
Yeah, my try celebration. So I have a sister, she's 11, and a few years back she just said, like, to me, you know, how come you don't have a try celebration? Not that she'd watch that much rugby, you know, what she would have watched would be soccer players basically. They're big Liverpool fans, so I'm sure she's seen a lot of soccer players goal celebrations. But yeah, it was just something small that she made up for me, and it's stuck now, and it's quite iconic to my name. So yeah, I enjoy it, and
I'm sure she's delighted as well.
Yeah, she is. It's something, like, it's a part of my family, and I'm able to bring that on the pitch, which I really like to do.
Talk to us about the game that's coming next week.
Yeah, we have a huge tournament next week. We head to Bucharest on Wednesday for the World Cup qualifiers for sevens, which is in Cape Town in September. So yeah, we've a huge focus on that the past 4 months. We've been building and getting enough tournament prep that leads us into Bucharest and to put us in the best foot forward to qualify for Cape Town. I was at the last World Cup in San Fran in 2018, and it was a great time. We had beaten England, and we were the underdogs at the time, and it was a big shock for people. But yeah, it was a really enjoyable tournament, and hopefully we qualify next week and we'll enjoy the World Cup in Cape Town.
In terms of the team, it's like definitely evolving, and that obviously rugby sevens is an Olympic sport. Is that a goal for you guys?
Yeah, the purpose of our sevens program is to qualify for the Olympics in 2024 in Paris. Unfortunately, we haven't made it to Tokyo and to Rio before that, but it's definitely a huge focus and goal, a long-term goal that we have in our plan. For me personally, going to the Olympics is a childhood dream of mine. Coming from athletics, watching the Olympics, and then I kind of lost sight of the Olympic dream when I joined the 15s as a 15-year-old, and then I was approached by our club just to trial out for the sevens, and at the time I didn't know it was going to be in Rio. And then 2 years later I found out, and I was like, this is my opportunity to do it. And you know, it was almost a sign that, like, look, here's rugby, you can play 15s, but also you can head down the Olympic pathway if that's what you want to do as well. So yeah, personally, it's a dream that I hope soon enough will fulfill. And next year Olympic qualification does start, so yeah, it'll be a big focus for us next year.
The Irish National Rowing Championships will be taking place in Cork this weekend. It's sure to be a star-studded affair, as some of the well-known names in Irish rowing will be there to compete. I caught up with Olympian Margaret Cremen to discuss all things rowing championships. Hi Margaret, it's great to have you on the Her Sport Show. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me. Good. Now we're just gearing up for the Irish Champs this weekend. So we're taking a break a bit from the Irish camp kind of training, which is nice. You know, competing back with their clubs and stuff. So I'm really excited and looking forward to it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great to see so many of the international athletes available to compete, and that you know, across the board it seems like there's so much competition in all events, which is brilliant. So what are you competing in this week yourself?
So on Friday I'm racing in the lightweight single in the morning and the senior double in the evening, and then I'm not racing Saturday, and on Sunday I'm racing the senior single and the senior 8. So that'll be exciting. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I did have a look at the crew there for the senior 8, so it's a composite between UCC and Skib, and you have yourself, Tara, Emily in it. I think is Lydia in it as well.
Yeah, Lydia's in it. Yeah,
that'll be nice. So it'll be a nice speedy boat going down the course.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we haven't really been in it yet, so so we'll see how that goes. But no, really looking forward to it, and yeah, hopefully.
You were obviously involved in a clean sweep last year, so UCC had a win in all the women's senior events last year. What was that like to be part of?
Yeah, it was really good buzz, to be fair. Like, it was after the Olympics, so we're just training a bit, you know, keeping up the fitness a bit, and then just enjoying the atmosphere. Like, you know, like it does get intense when you're, you know, training like on the Irish squad all the time, and then just being with like your friends in your club was really great. And just to celebrate even the year, everyone together, yeah, it was so good. And hopefully this weekend will be good as well. So
yeah, it's nice that obviously people were able to compete last year and then going to race again this year. So yeah, from your perspective, like, you know, you're able to go back and race with your clubs, but how important do you think it is from a domestic perspective that people, you know, get to see you down around on the ground, that you get to, you know, meet some of the young athletes that might be aspiring to be the next Margaret Cremen or Lydia Heafy or Monika Tokarska, whoever their role models are? But how important do you think that is, that you know, you're around, you're accessible, but you're also able to demonstrate like the hard work and you know, the work that pays off as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think it is important to kind of like to race with like your club and to represent your club, and then race like all the other different clubs. You know, I think it'll like hopefully like bring on other girls to try it as well, you know, like go to the trials and to race that way, because like they could, you know, anyone could surprise themselves, and you know, it gives them a chance to test themselves. And yeah, like I think it's great, to be honest.
Yeah, no, there'll definitely be a good bit of excitement, and as we were saying, like the entries are really high this year, so there'll be lots of people around to you know, give a crack at all the racing.
Exactly.
You might get asked for a few autographs, you never know.
Oh God, hardly.
Plenty of photographs. I know there was loads of people looking for photos last year, so I'm sure it'll be the same this year. In terms of some of the events, so I was like looking through the entries. Senior quad, we have Glorglen with Monika Tokarska and Zoe Hyde is going to be in it. We have senior pair, we'll have Tara and Emily back together. And I know they'll be coming head to head with Claire Feerick and Caoimhe Dempsey. Obviously, Claire has international experience, international medals, and Caoimhe has been rowing well in Cambridge. We have yourself in the lightweight single with Cleena Nolan as someone to look out for. And in the senior single, you're racing the senior single. Aoife Casey is racing the senior single. Natalie Long has put her name in the hat for that as well. Claire Feerick's name is in the hat. So what are some of the standout events that you think people should definitely tune in to watch this week?
Yeah, all the events you mentioned, and I think like the 8s will be a good race. The all the inter events I think will be great. You know, like this is like the weekend of the year for like all the clubs, you know. It's what everyone's been gearing up for, so like everyone will put out their best performance. So like I think right from junior to senior with the inter boats as well, like it'll be great. Like the 1K classic was out here last weekend, and like there was savage atmosphere out here. Like, to be fair, like the weather was great, and like everyone just like on a good buzz, you know, and everyone wants to put out their best performance. So I think like fingers crossed we'll get the conditions that we all hope for. And yeah, I think it'll be really exciting. So I'd say every race will be great, to be honest. But yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, so UCC won all of the senior events last year, which was incredible. What were the wins that you picked up last year?
So I won the senior single, the senior 4, the senior 8, and the senior double. So so it was great, to be fair. It was good buzz. But like what I just love about champs is just like, you know, like you're seeing people and you're meeting people that you only see at champs, you know, you only see once a year, but like you pick up right where you left off, you know, and like that's what's so great about rowing. Like we're all like, you know, we're all of like similar character that way, you know, and like just meeting people, like just really excited for that, and just even like seeing your like old coaches and old faces. So I think like it's really nice to like race and to win, but I think just like being in the atmosphere and like kind of celebrating the year with everyone, and like, you know, like even seeing like the young girls that, you know, were babies when you were rowing in the club, like doing really well, you know, it's great. You know, like the junior women, they're heading off today for the junior world champs, and Alison in the single, and like they're all doing really well, and there's such a good buzz, and you know, it's so nice to see because it's the next generation, you know, that kind of way. And it's a pity that they can't race at the champs, but at the same time, you know, it'll be great. So yeah, looking forward to that aspect of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there'll be lots of inspiration around the weekend anyways.
Yeah,
I'll make sure to meet you at the food stands again this year after last year.
And sure, I'll see you on the start line.
Yeah, I know. That's provided I make weight, to be honest. But you know,
I know, it'll be great.
And in terms of international events, I know big congratulations to yourself and Lydia. You picked up a bronze medal at World Cup 2. So how exciting was that, like to obviously get a medal and off the back of Tokyo? Like it's another year of great success for you.
Yeah, it was great, to be fair. Like you know, we were going well in training, and just we weren't sure what speed we were until we went out and raced. So it was a good like stepping stone, and sure, we were thrilled. And you know, we've been working hard ever since, and you know, hopefully like it's the starting point for the group. So so yeah, we were definitely delighted, and you know, like we just want to make that progression. You know, it's like you want to be like up with the medals all the time, or like just like pushing the leaders and stuff, but at the same time, like we just want to see a progression. And you know, the big race is in 2 years time, hopefully. So you know, it's kind of just having that progression and just seeing the benefits from training is the most important way. You know, it is a process. So I think like, you know, so like hopefully but yeah, we were delighted, and sure, the whole team did unreal. And yeah, really good. It's a good sign. So hopefully we'll carry that on into the season. And so yeah, we're delighted, and fingers crossed now. So we've Munich in a month's time, and then the World Champs at the end of September. So so all going well, and yeah, fingers crossed.
And what can we expect to see in Munich and then in World Championships? Do you still be looking for the double?
Yeah. So we're in the double for Munich, and yeah. So we'll see. Like, you know, hopefully we'll kind of keep it on a high. But I suppose like there were a few countries missing from the World Cup we were at as well. So we were yet to race GB, Italy, and France. So it'll be good to race them. So I think we'll throw ourselves at it, and we'll see what happens. You know, we won't count anyone in and we won't count anyone out either. You know, go and race our best, and then we'll see the result. And I think we're quite good at, you know, doing our best in the heat, but building on it. Like I think it's kind of a bit of a trend with us. We kind of, you know, like the final's always our biggest race, which is good. We kind of grow into the regatta that way. So we're always learning. So which is great. So so hopefully this similar in Munich. So we'll see.
And will it be yourself and Lydia in the double all summer, or are there seats up for the taking? I know it's obviously a competitive
yeah,
field there.
Definitely. You know, Aoife is also trialing for the double as well. So so you know, no one seat's ever safe. We're all really competitive in the group. So so we're gonna keep it going, and we'll see at the end of the summer. You know, nothing's ever set, so we're all busting ourselves every day to do our best. So you know, which will make a really fast double at the end of the day. So so you know, we're all training hard, and we all obviously want a seat. So so we're working really hard, and we'll see what happens at the end of summer. So fingers crossed we'll be happy with the result at the end of the summer, you know, and a good progression then for next year for qualification already. So
yeah, no, look, you guys have definitely been pushing things forward over the last couple of years, and you know, certainly between the three names that we've mentioned there and Cliona, I know everyone's you know, pushing each other on all the time.
Yeah.
And you guys seem to be just getting faster and faster, which is exciting. So we'll be looking forward to watching your race at Europeans and at World Championships. For those that don't know, I suppose with World Cup, you were saying that GB weren't there. So I think to kind of explain to people, there's 3 World Cups during the year. There'll be European Championships, there'll be World Championships. So it's obviously expensive to travel, and not everyone will necessarily show up to all the World Cups. So you have to be trying to be as fast as you can for the likes of the World Championships and the European Championships. That's what you're talking about when you mean that you can't count anyone in or out.
No, exactly. And I mean, like, you can have a bad weekend, you can have a good weekend, and in lightweight rowing, the margins are so tight that like anything can happen. So you just have to do your best from A to B and then see what happens at the end. You know, like, you know, you could surprise yourself, you could, you know, and when you're young as well, you're learning every race. So so it makes it more exciting, I think. But hopefully we'll be happy with our result anyway. So
very good. And I have one really important question. I know obviously there's lots of things on the agenda for you this summer, but the Champs Night, it's a big one. Will we see you there, or will you have to be on good behaviour?
We'll see about that. Yeah. Obviously.
How many championships you're taking home? Is that it?
No, sure. Like, Champs Night's the biggest night of the year. But I suppose we do have our Europeans close enough. So we'll see. We might make an appearance at some stage tonight. So.
I was going to say, you might be able to show face for a little bit, say hello.
Exactly.
Then head off. Very good. Well, look, I look forward to seeing you at the weekend, and best luck over the season. There'll be lots of good things coming up.
Thanks, and you too.
It's an action-packed weekend for sports fans. Here's what's coming up. The Athletics World Championships are taking place in Oregon from the 15th to the 24th of July. As discussed with Margaret Cremen, the National Rowing Championships are taking place this weekend and will be streamed live. Head over to her sport to find the live stream link. The Irish Rugby Sevens will be in action in Bucharest as they hope to confirm their place in the upcoming World Cup. The European Football Championships continue with Thursday, Italy facing Iceland at 5 p.m, France versus Belgium at 8 p.m. On Friday, we'll see Northern Ireland versus England at 8, Austria versus Norway at 8. On Saturday, we'll see Finland versus Germany at 8, Denmark versus Sweden at 8. And on Sunday, we'll see Switzerland versus the Netherlands at 5 p.m. and Sweden versus Portugal at 5 p.m. The TG Cahir All-Ireland Championship semi-finals will be in action as Kerry face Mayo and Donegal play Meath, all in Croke Park in a double header on Saturday. The Camogian Championships will take place in Thurles with Waterford playing Limerick and Kilkenny taking on Dublin. Thank you for tuning in to the Her Sport Show. A reminder that you can catch this episode and every episode on our YouTube channel, all podcast platforms and across social media. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
The Her Sport Show, live every Wednesday on YouTube and every podcast app.